this week's plaintiff, Peter Strickland. And as always, the internet's favorite judge, Josh Lee, presiding on another edition of Horror or Not. Court is in session.
Hey, welcome to this special segment of Horror or Not, where, as always, Josh will be discussing films that are argued whether or not they are horror. This special segment is kind of, in particular, is a cross episode, I'd say, between one of our main episodes where we talked about Berberian Sound Studio and In Fabric, both directed by Peter Strickland. And Josh is going to actually talk about those movies. So I will let him go now.
Okay. The short answer for Berberian Sound Studio and In Fabric is they are definitely not horror films. As I mentioned to Craig earlier, the horror aspect was getting through Berberian Sound Studio. If anything, I would say that one is psychological. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind in terms of genre. There's nothing even remotely scary, terrifying in it whatsoever. And it made me wish that the movie that they were actually working on was what I was watching. In Fabric is definitely not either. The first thing for me is that it's a comedy. In Fabric, I think it would be more of a horror film in just that, it has what essentially amounts to a dress that is possessed. It also has a lot of gore, but it's generally used in a comedic sense. So, the answer is definitely not. But I could see an argument being made more in favor of In Fabric than Berberian Sound Studio. But yes, the answer is neither one of them are horror films.
Okay, and that is Josh's rule. So we are also, if anybody that is listening feels like they disagree with Josh on any of these, we are opening up that you can come on, you can add a rebuttal. Of course, this is all opinion and discourse, and feel free. We're going to soon start a special segment to have this become more of a discussion. So if you feel the need to, send us your kind of argument, and then we can bring you on and have that discussion. Thank you.
Come at me.
Bloodhound Pix podcast is produced by Josh Lee, Craig Draheim, and Kyle Hintz. Music by Raymond Seed. Audio editing by Kyle Hintz.